I'm here to tell you, the guy who's under the most pressure than anybody, the guy who's on the most pressure than anybody in the league at the quarterback position. And this guy is not even a starter. He was not even considered to be a starter coming into the season. He's a backup, and he's under more pressure than anybody, and that's Trey Lance. Trey Lance. He's under the most pressure. This boy is under pressure to even be the second string quarterback. He has to step up his game, or he's going to be regulated to the bench. The 49ers are going to chalk up their losses and just take whatever they can get for them. Jordan Love is not under pressure. Baker Mayfield, he's not under no real pressure. He's just competing for a job. It's no pressure. Even if he lose, so what? It's Baker Mayfield. The fact that it's a QB competition lets you know that it's not pressure for him. It's not like he's not under pressure. Because with Kyle Trask, any of those other quarterbacks, it wouldn't even be a competition. Dak Prescott would have been named the starter if he was going up against Kyle Trask. Jordan Love would have been named the starter if he was going up against Kyle Trask. Russell Wilson would have been named the starter if he was going up against Trask. So this notion that Baker Mayfield is under some type of pressure is ludicrous. Now I give it to you, Russell Wilson. Yes, he's under some pressure. He is. He really is. I mean, you know, and you got Sean Payton there, you know, so everybody's expecting his team to turn it around and expecting Russell Wilson to turn it around. So yes, he's under pressure, but not more pressure, in my opinion, than Dak Prescott. And the reason why is because of the roster that Jerry Jones has assembled around Dak Prescott. Like, these boys are loaded. They're loaded. So if they can't get it done, if they cannot make a deep run in the playoffs, and Dak Prescott stinks up the season, oh my goodness. He can't live that down. But boy, I tell you, Trey Lance, boy, the heat is on this kid, man. The pressure is on this kid. He can't even get out of a preseason game. All eyes in week 2 preseason. Who they play? I don't know. Let's see if I got it here in my notes. All eyes are going to be on Trey Lance. Preseason week 2 versus the Broncos. Trey Lance was 10 of 15, 112 yards, a touchdown. Versus the Raiders in a 34-7 loss in the first preseason game. Those numbers don't look that bad. 10 of 15, 112 yards. But he did not look very good. Trey Lance is under immense pressure. And let's see if he can rise to the occasion and be the player that the 49ers drafted him to be. My prediction for Trey Lance is, at some point in time during this season, I say around week 4, Um, he may be able to get his job back. Let me look at the 49ers schedule here and see if there is a chance for Trey Lance to earn the starting position at the quarterback position for the San Francisco 49ers. Let's see, is there a chance? Let's look at the first first 4 games of the schedule here. What's this regular season start? Let's see, 1, 2, 3. What day does the regular season start? September the 17th versus the Rams. Can't tell. This schedule looks so crazy right here. But yeah, Trey Lance is under pressure more than any of those quarterbacks that Rich Eisen just named. More than any of those quarterbacks that Rich Eisen named. If I look at the schedule, week 1 at the Steelers, I expect Kenny Pickett to ball. I'm telling you, I expect Kenny Pickett to ball. Do you hear me? And I'll tell you why later. I'm not going to spoil it. Week 2 at the Rams, that's an easy one for the 49ers. Week 3 at the Giants. We're going to have to see. Week 4 at the Cardinals, like the 49ers. I mean, so it's going to be looking rough for Trey Lance, because I think Brock Purdy can handle. I think he can handle those first 4 or 5 teams pretty decently. So the pressure is on. He got Sam Darnold came in as the 3rd quarterback. So you got really, with Brock Purdy being Mr. Irrelevant and emerging as a starter, you really have pretty much, supposedly, if Trey Lance gets it together, 3 solid options at quarterback. And based on the 49ers history with injuries at that position, they're going to need it. So yeah, for me, Rich, I'm sorry, but Trey Lance is under the most pressure than any quarterback in the NFL. And here's a hot take. ESPN analyst Marcus Spears said that the trade up to pick quarterback Trey Lance by the 49ers might be one of the worst of all time, especially with Justin Fields still on the board. This may go down as one of the worst trades in draft in the NFL, in the history of the NFL. Why wouldn't you take Justin Fields? Like, why wouldn't you have Justin Fields in this situation after we saw Zach Wilson go? Some of us even thought that Justin Fields should go ahead of Zach Wilson. San Francisco traded 3 first-round picks and a 3rd-round pick to move up to get Trey Lance. And wow. Do you feel me now? Do you see the pressure that Trey Lance is under? This is pressure. This is pressure. The 49ers moved heaven and earth to get this guy out of North Dakota State. No disrespect, but I'm just saying, Justin Fields, Ohio State was on the board. On the board. And looking back, just, going back to last season, the 49ers with that roster, with that team, with Justin Fields, you're talking about Super Bowl champions. I'm telling you, you're talking about Super Bowl champions. But, instead they had Trey Lance, who, he was hurt. He was hurt. He was hurt. Then he struggled. Then Brock Purdy. And then, he struggled and was hurt with Brock Purdy. And they won six games straight to end the season. So, but then he got hurt. So you never know. If Brock Purdy hadn't got hurt, you never know. I mean, he was on a hell of a run. But the 49ers, they moved all these pieces to move up to get Trey Lance. And so Trey Lance was a top pick. I don't know what pick he was in that draft, but he was a top pick. And if you're picked that high at that position, you're getting paid. So Trey Lance is probably making $20-something million this season. And you can't beat out Mr. Irrelevant? I mean, I'm sorry, that's pressure to me.